What's going on? I put on some weird headset and now I'm here.
What you've seen is not a fever dream. That's the Amazing Digital Circus. What started as a single YouTube pilot has ballooned into one of the biggest indie animation success stories of all time. I'm talking about millions of fans, hundreds of millions of views, memes that spread faster than Pomni's panic attacks. Today I'm gonna be looking at how this psychedelic nightmare, because I can't describe it otherwise, nightmare over candy colors and existential dread rose from nothing to dominate YouTube, Netflix and every single Reddit thread. The circus begins with Pomni, our hero, and by hero I mean anxious accountant who pressed install VR on the wrong file and now regrets everything. She enters this circus, she then loses all memory of her past life, and then wakes up in a jester's outfit with no control, no name, no exit. Just the AI ringmaster Caine, a nightmare mix between Jim Carrey and a corrupted JPEG, informing her, "Congratulations, you live here now." Pomni is our audience surrogate. She panics, she questions everything and constantly looks for the exit, which makes her painfully relatable. Pretty much all of us want to quit. But she's not alone in this case. The circus is full of unreeling performers, each representing a different flavor, if you may, to this digital purgatory, from what I gather. So apparently Jax is this purple rabbit, which is the embodiment of internet trolls. He just mocks everyone.
I hope he's alright.
Don't worry, Dollface. I've got a key to his room.
Wait, why? You shouldn't have keys to anyone's room.
Nah, I've got keys everywhere, and you've all been fine. By the way, I may have left something in your room today, so let me know if you find it. You're not afraid of centipedes, are you?
He bullies relentlessly, and yet somehow fans adore him.
Doom presence in the nest of the Blood Queen.
Oh, is that who you are? You know, you could have asked for my consent before forcing me to see something so completely and utterly disgusting.
He's the comment section giver from. He's cruel, but occasionally he's funny enough that you hesitate in blocking him. Then you have Ragata, which is the ragdoll. She is everybody's favorite with I'm fine friend. She's optimistic, she's cheerful, and desperately holding everybody together. However, in doing so, she quietly burns herself out. Now, this is the toxic positivity with button eyes. Then you've got the Ganger, which is the ribbon creature with fragile comedy and tragedy masks. Is depression in physical form. Her tragedy masks her breaks constantly, which leave her comedy face taped together. Now, this is a metaphor so sharp it hurts. Then you've got Zubal. This is the toy box mashup in the circus cynic. They're sarcastic, detached and perpetually unimpressed, which honestly this makes them the healthiest one out there. Then you've got Kinger, which is the chess piece king. He has been in the circus the longest. He's eccentric, paranoid and giving his wife's abstraction. He's the reminder that time doesn't heal all wounds. Sometimes it just makes you weirder. And then the guy that's floating above them all is Caine, which he's the ringmaster, the algorithm incarnate. He's cheerful, chaotic, convinced that he knows the best, while his adventures slowly drive everybody mad. So this doesn't sound like a circus to me. This sounds like a therapy session that was hosted by ChatGPT, but on the sadistic side. But here's where it gets a bit more juicier. In the pilot, we learn what happens when you can't cope in the circus because you abstract. I mean, if you translate that, is your mind that shatters, it just poof, your body glitches, and then you become unrecognizable digital monster. One of the earliest victims, Kaufmo, was just another trapped human, but after losing his grip, he morphed into a glitching beast. Caine casually sweeps it under the rug, while the other performers look on in horror. This is where satire is the hardest. The show is quietly masking deep psychological pain with bright visuals. The abstraction isn't just scary, this is terrifying familiar. It's your burnout, it's your dissociation, and it's the moment when your brain says, nope, I'm done, and then checks out.
Kaufmosis and abstracted! Kaufmo abstracted? Why didn't anybody tell me?
I am in so much pain!
Oop.
That's literally your brain doing all the work. This circus takes those everyday struggles and dials them up until they're unmissable. And fans connected with it instantly. I mean, now you might be asking how this indie fever dream rise to dominance. Well, this pilot dropped in October 2023. Within a month, it had racked up over 150 million views. And by early 2024, this already passed 270 million mark. By the end of that year, it was way beyond 350 million. Well, that's more than some Marvel movies that pull off with full marketing budgets and preparation and Hollywood acting, but except here, it was just ribbons, rag dolls, and one deeply uncomfortable jester. So you see the difference. When episode 2 dropped, it hit 30 million views in one day. And to put that in perspective, more people tune in to see Gangle break her tragedy mask than to see some Hollywood blockbusters. Because by 2024, Netflix picked it up, and there's the wild part. Gooseworks English production kept creative control. Netflix just slapped its logo on, but they didn't interfere. That's unheard of. I mean, suddenly this wasn't just an internet series, it was mainstream juggernaut. And of course, the fandom exploded. You had cosplay, fan art, memes, and this entire theory videos dissecting Pomni's special Twitch like it was a brother's film. Now, YouTube was flooded as well. You've got a couple of TikToks that turn episodes into viral audios, and even Twitter, X, that they managed to agree one thing, and that this show is addictive. I mean, look at brain rot. However, you've got numbers that alone don't explain the obsession. Why does this show stick? Well, just like I mentioned, it's because beneath this surreal visual is something raw and familiar that we're all used to. Pomni is your anxiety, and she's trapped and overwhelmed, and she's desperate for control. Then you got Gangle again, which is your depression is fragile and constantly breaking. You got Ragata, which is your friend that says, I'm fine, until they collapse. You got Zobel, which is your cynicism, which is pretty much your armor against hostile words. And also Caine. Caine is the algorithm. He's smiling, he's chaotic, and he's always promising fun. Well, while secretly tightening the cage. That's why it resonates, because whenever you're stuck in a cubicle, you're doom scrolling TikTok, or just tired of pretending, you're gonna see yourself in these characters. Since this circus is just a metaphor for life online pretty much. It's colorful, it's absurd, it's addictive, and quietly horrifying. And that tension that builds up between laughter and dread, well, it's what fuels the fan obsession. Since every episode drops breadcrumbs, every unanswered question becomes a Reddit thread, and every tiny glitch becomes a theory. Now, the community isn't just watching the circus, since they're performing in it. But you know what they say, with the hype, it also comes with a risk. Despite the fact that episodes take forever to release, indie animations are slow, and fans in general tend to be impatient. Between episodes, there's always a danger that the audience might drift away. There's also this mystery box problem, since the exit door is always teased but is never been opened. If the show will drag that out too long, fans might bail. And now you might be wondering, what's next, since it's always been teasing forward? Well, more episodes, more trauma disguised as candy, more questions about identity, abstraction, and whether escape is even possible. Fans are already speculating about some spin-offs. Maybe they do games, maybe they'll do comics. And given that Netflix has a deal with them, don't be surprised if the Amazing Digital Circus becomes a franchise at the end of the day. But here's the bigger picture. This series is changing how people see indie animation. It proves that you don't need a billion-dollar studio to shake culture somewhere. Sometimes all you need is a jester, a ribbon, and maybe a toothy clown, and you've got your animation. So no fancy budgets in there. Why everybody's talking about the Amazing Digital Circus? Well, because it's not just a show. It's pretty much a mirror. It's like us looking in a mirror. It's a reflection of our anxiety, our mask, and our endless performance in a digital world. Now, I know sometimes it might be hilarious, it might be horrifying, and sometimes it's way too relatable even for my taste. But from a single pilot to Netflix, from meme fuel to cultural phenomenon, this circus rose because it dares to blend comedy with a bit of horror, trauma, and color, and despair, and candy. And maybe that's why we can't look away, because deep down we all feel a little like Pomni, which is stuck in a circus that we never auditioned for, searching for an exit that might not even exist. But hey, unlike Pomni, you can actually leave. And after all, the circus always needs new performance.